Hi there, welcome to the Year 4 curriculum evening. We will talk more about the curriculum in this session, but first we will start with introducing ourselves. So I am Mrs. Gaisford, my class is 4G, and I am covering the class all week except for my PPA days on alternate Wednesdays, and in that time it will be Mrs. Bloomfield covering my class. Do you want to?
Yeah, 4J is with Mrs. Jones and me, which is Mrs. Wintle. Mrs. Jones teaches at the start of the week on a Monday, Tuesday, and the alternate Wednesdays, and then I will be teaching at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, and then the other alternate Wednesday.
And our teaching assistants are 4Js is Mrs. Davis and 4Gs is Mrs. Lee. There will also be other times throughout the year where we might have a supply teacher covering the class. This might be because of staff illness, but this also might be because we are released from time to time to do other whole school responsibilities such as subject leadership and things like that. So there might be other people covering our classes in the week.
Right, so just to start off with attendance, because it has changed a little bit from last year. So school drop-off is 8:45 until 8:55. All children basically need to be in the classroom by 8:55. This is when we take the register. We always have activities ready for them to do when they come in. And just say lateness, it does have an impact on the children's learning, and they are also marked as late. But it's really important they come in feeling settled and ready to start the day. Obviously, our aim is for 100% attendance, but we are aware that children might be unwell, possibly with sickness or diarrhea or COVID symptoms. And if they do have any of those symptoms, please don't come into school. Please report their absence to the school office. Pickup, again, has changed this year to 3:15. We will come out with the children onto the front playground or car park really. And if you need to talk to us, we are there. Please come and see us if you do have anything you want to say to us. The children are encouraged to wait with us, whether you are down in infants or you might just be sort of coming a couple of minutes, up the road. Wait with us until they've seen you and then they can go to you. We will be there obviously until they've all found their parents. Just to say, when entering the site, I think Mrs. Fleet has already said this, but last year again we were using sort of the main road, but we're not doing that this year, and you must use a pedestrian access to keep us all safe. And if you are parking nearby the school, can you just please make sure you park considerately around the school.
Okay, if you are interested in what your child is learning this year, you can find lots and lots of information on our website. This particular page will take you to the curriculum progression maps, and they will show you every subject across the school and what every single year group is teaching. So there is so much knowledge on that website. Please go and have a look. Also, here is a link to our curriculum mapping just for year 4. That will show you the units that we are teaching across the year. Again, another really, really helpful thing for you to look for. Again, with the newsletters, so our year 4 newsletter is on the year 4 page on our website as well. So again, that tells you more about what we are doing in the term, and it gives you more information such as when our PE days are and any other changes that we're making in that term. Just lots of information there.
And just to give you a little bit more information about some of our curriculum, this is really our English curriculum on this page. Writing, our children will write with, sorry, I'm umming a lot, with a given purpose, exploring a range of fiction, non-fiction and poetry during the course of the year. We've begun with poetry, which we're really enjoying with year 4. Guided reading happens every day. Again, we look at a variety of fiction, non-fiction and poetry, and we focus on developing the VIPER skills. Children are really familiar with the VIPER skills, as well as we start to introduce skimming, scanning and zooming in and out on things to help them with their reading skills. Speaking and listening, that's become more of a focus actually. We have some English units that just focus on the speaking and listening skills, where we develop their ability to explain their ideas, express themselves with sort of increasing clarity and confidence. We also have other opportunities for speaking and listening during the year, such as the ECO and House Council, school council reps, isn't it, that we do with them too. Class read is probably my favourite part of the day. We absolutely love class read. It's a real treasured part. We have currently started Land of War. Ask your children about it because they've taken it in so beautifully already. We read every day to the children. And just those 4 books there, they're just some of the books that we will be reading with your children this year. Maths curriculum, obviously times tables have a high priority in maths during year 4, and we'll be talking more about that later on. We start across the school, we all start looking at place value, and year 4 is about building on the previous learning in year 3, and as well as we do introduce some new objectives. For example, we do decimals. For the first time we introduce them to negative numbers. Reasoning remains a high priority, and we have a dedicated slot for this each week. As we've already said, I'm not going to go over every subject. I think we'll be here all evening. But on our curriculum map, the Year 4 curriculum map on our website, you will be able to find all the things that we're doing in all of our subjects. So please do take time to have a look at that.
They have equal importance, don't they? And,
absolutely.
And we're really, really excited about all of our subjects. So yeah, definitely go and check them out on that Year 4 curriculum map. Okay, school kit. So just to begin with, just to say, we go outside in all weathers, especially at break times and lunchtime. So it's really, really good if they have their coat with them every day, please. They need to pack their water bottle, the coat's been mentioned there, the sun hat, their reading book and their reading journal in their school bag to bring with them each day. On a Friday, they need to bring in their green book with their home spellings in them so that we could stick in the new spellings for the next week. That's really important. We will provide the children with the materials that they need in school, so there's no need for them to bring in pencil cases. However, if they want to bring it in extra pens and things like that, that's fine, but there's no need to do that. On a Tuesday and a Thursday, they will need to come into school dressed in their games kit and their PE kit, but wearing their school shoes. They just need to remember to bring their trainers in their school bag. They've been brilliant at that this week, so that's great. They should also be wearing their school jumpers with their PE kit, please. I think that looks really, really smart.
It does.
When the clubs start and the children have signed up to a club, they need to make sure that they bring their kit in a bag to get changed after school. If they have PE that day, they can obviously wear that kit to their club. It's just for those that are wearing uniform in the day. Make sure, please, that all of the clothes are named and clearly, so that if any go wandering around the school, we can find them again. That would be perfect, especially things like little lunch pots. I think we find those everywhere. If you can put names on them clearly, that would be perfect. Again, if anything changes, we will make sure that it is on our newsletter or on the weekly bulletin, and you will also obviously get an expression to say something has been updated.
So is it still you, Mrs. Gates?
Is it still me?
This one, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, so homework. So we would like the children to read at least 4 times a week and record this in their pink reading journal. The children are really excited about these reading journals. We have talked to them at the beginning of this year about what kinds of activities that they can do in their journals, and we love to see pictures about the books that they're reading in them, and anything they want to show us, diagrams or even little recommendations about the books that they are reading. The children seem so keen to do that, so we'd love to see what they're doing in those reading journals. We wanted them to be their own, almost like a reading scrapbook with all of the excitement about reading in them. So these are going to be checked every Friday, just to check that they are reading at home 4 times a week.
You will notice a bit of a theme on this slide in year 4, that we check everything they're due in on a Friday. So hopefully that will be easy for you all to remember.
So they will have a reading journal task as well that is set on a Friday. I think we talk about that more on the next slide, don't we? So I won't go into too much detail. And that's set on the Friday, and then it is discussed in class the following Friday. So we look at them all together. Again, spelling practice. That's another book that will come home to you. It is a green home spelling book, and that we test them on the spellings in school on that Friday. They also practice these spellings most mornings. So they've got that practice in there. Again, times tables practice will be happening at home as well. We will send a timetable home, and I think Mrs. Wintle is talking more about that. So that will also be tested on a Friday, and we will let you know which times tables they are for the week. There will be 1 Bedrock lesson a week to complete on the computer. There will be 1 CGP maths task that will be handed in on the Friday, and 1 CGP SPAG book task that will be handed in on the Friday, meaning the spelling, the punctuation and the grammar book.
So reading at home is probably the most important thing that you can support your children with. We make reading a real high priority at school, and we would love it if you did the same at home. Children, as we said, expected to read 4 times a week. We like them to record it, and we have shown them some brilliant examples of how they can present it, and we've seen them already coming in and sort of saying, I've done this in my reading journal, which is just lovely to see. As we said, each week they will be given a reading journal task. Now, this changed during last year, and we've tried to make them, they're not marked, they're discussed, because we're trying to create that love of books and encourage them to think of different books that they might want to read. The books we choose are books that we know are suitable for year 4, and books that often that we've read and we've really loved, and we want the children to sort of have some more ideas of different books they might want to pick up and try to read. You're more than happy to help the children, talk to them about these tasks, and the children, that's often where that love comes from. The more you talk to children about books and about different things, the more that love is there. As in year 4, a lot of the children are becoming increasingly fluent with their reading, and it is perfectly acceptable for them to read independently at home. However, and quite importantly, it is still extremely valuable if you are listening to them read, maybe once or twice a week, asking them some questions about their reading and just talking to them about what they're reading, and seeing how interested they are in it, and seeing what they've taken in about characters or the plot, or if it's a non-fiction book, what they've been learning about. And don't also be afraid to read to them. I know a lot of parents have sort of another novel that they read to their children. That benefits them so much. So yeah, find a quiet time, share a good book, and instill that love of reading.
Okay, so just to go over what we've said already, the green home spelling book will be sent home on a Friday with new spellings in them. So obviously they've come home to you already. They must bring them back in on that Friday. It's really important that they get to stick in those new spellings. As I've said before, the children are tested each Friday on their spellings, and those rules and meanings that are throughout the spelling list are discussed at the beginning of the week. We have a bit of a spelling session just to go through those rules. CGP homework will be set every Friday and will be consolidation of what we have been learning in school. So there will never be anything sent home that they haven't already done in school. They should be confident to complete this at home, and we do expect it to be handed in on that Friday, as I said before.
So as we've already said, timetables have a really big focus in year 4. By the end of year 3, children are expected to have learnt their 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s and 10 times tables. However, we realise that some children are still not completely competent with these, so we will be going over them and we will be revising them with the children. I know also that some children are confident with all of them, but still that constant recapping is really important for all of our children. Timetable Rockstars is a huge hit at Warden Hill, but it has such a big impact on it. And if children are logging on and playing on Timetable Rockstars, the children are quite knowledgeable now, and they know that there's different sections they can go to. So if you just want to practice one times table, there's a section for that now, which is really useful, particularly for these tests. I would encourage your children to go on this at least twice a week, not for long, literally 15 minutes. It just has a really big impact, and we'll talk more about why and how it will help them prepare for the end of year 4. So timetables, as we said, we're going to do a weekly test. The children will be sent home, or have maybe by the time you've watched this, an outline of the tests, the timetables that they will be tested on each week. We ask 15 questions, and of those 50, we will read them out, or we will show them on the board, and the children write down their answers. We also include division, and we do normally include 2 worded problems just to try to get them to start to understand all of that mass vocabulary really that comes with the questions. But yeah, that's fine. Next slide, Mrs. Gazer.
Thank you. How we will let you know how your child is doing. We will let you know in a number of ways. Obviously, we are around at the end of the day on the playground for you to come and have a chat to us. Also, if we need to share anything with you, we will make sure we do that at the end of the day, or in a phone call. Obviously, parents' evenings, we will have one just before the half term in October, and this will be about how they've settled in and any progress that they've made since the beginning of the year. obviously we will be focusing on the core subjects in that meeting, and obviously anything specific that we want to share or you want to talk about within this foundation subjects. And then the second parents' evening will be around March. We will also be sending out reports. In the middle of the year, we have a mid-year report in between both parents' evenings, and that will be about the core subjects based on the attainment and the progress that they have made towards the attainment. There is a statutory end of year report which covers all subjects and their attainment in them as well. The assessments we use are called NFER papers. We will be using those just to give us a bit more information and to help us with our teacher judgments for our points that we need to make those judgments for. We will also be assessing informally on a daily basis through obviously our questioning, our talking with the children and looking at their books, and those are independent tasks. So I've talked about those formal assessments, our NFER papers, and we also need to just mention there that to do with the multiplication tests, we will be completing the statutory multiplication check in the summer term.
So the multiplication check, we will give you more information about this. We'll probably do another presentation, I would have thought, nearer the time. This is completed in the summer term. It will consist of 25 questions. The children have 6 seconds to answer each question. And you're probably realizing if you've watched them on TT Rockstars, you know, the speed actually is really important for this test. It will test them on all of their times tables. So by the summer term, our aim is for every child to be confident and secure up to 12 times 12. Hit the button. TT Rockstars are really good apps, as was said, to prep for children to develop their confidence of their times tables and to prepare them for their test. This test is done either on an iPad or a laptop. We give children that choice of the device that they are more confident with, because obviously we want them to feel comfortable when they do come to do this multiplication check. I will say, I've taught year 4 now for the last couple of years, but the children, when they are secure with their 12 times up to 12 times 12, the difference that has with them with the maths curriculum, you taught higher up as well, haven't you? Being secure with
Definitely.
their timetables is so important, and I think that's why we have this focus now in year 4, and it is really valuable. So yeah, as we've said earlier, if they could go on to TT Rockstars or hit the button twice a week, all through the year, you will gradually see them just build up that confidence and that skill. So when it gets to the summer term, actually 6 seconds can seem like quite a long time for the children.
I think it really, really helps with their pace,
yeah,
but also their accuracy across the board in maths. So definitely, it's so important. Thinking about the children's wider personal development, we do so much here at Warden Hill to ensure that they are developing as people. They take part in inter-house events, just encouraging that teamwork, resilience, respect, but also giving them a bit of fighting spirit. I think our inter-house events really, really help with that. We have a positive behaviour policy that we go through quite a lot in school. We've definitely been talking about the Warden Hill Way recently in RE.
Yeah.
So it's something that is really embedded in everything we do and everything we teach. Through our assemblies, we make sure that we are discussing the British values, and we also allow some assemblies to be led by the pupils themselves. We are teaching a fantastic PSHE curriculum where they have that chance to discuss with each other, to discuss with us what makes them them, which is really nice. We do yoga at school as well. They have a chance to go for school council and eco, which is really, really good in terms of speaking and listening, to put themselves forward for things that they wouldn't normally put themselves forward for. And obviously in year 6, they will get the chance to put themselves forward for house and vice and sports. We have science ambassadors. They can try and be a science ambassador or a class librarian. We've got our after school clubs. There's just a lot of well-being activities there that actually really kind of expand their personal development. Forest School, our school trips linking into our learning, and obviously those trips like the Literature Festival and the Science Festival. So that was our PowerPoint. Thank you so much for listening. If you do have any more questions that at this point in the year, please feel free to get in touch with us. we really appreciate all of your support, and we are just so impressed with how the year group have started. They are lovely children, and we are so excited for this year. And yeah, we're really excited to talk to all of you about how brilliant they have been, even in the last week. So if you do need to get in touch with us, please just send an email to the email address on the screen now. We will be absolutely happy to answer any questions that you have.
Or come and see us on the playground when we take the children out at the end of the day. Yeah, it'd be lovely to meet you all. And that's it, I think. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.